The manga starts with a glimpse into the future with thousands of soldiers charging towards wolf monsters. The leaders of the troops tell them to stay calm and continue charging, but the soldiers are overwhelmed almost instantly. They ask if the hero, Lady Lynn, is okay, and we see that she is currently fighting a losing battle. When the villain fighting the hero tries to attack, someone suddenly dashes at them and attempts to strike. Before the hit can connect, the villain counters while he's mid-air. The hero worries for him, but luckily, he manages to dodge in time. He says he's glad he made it and asks if this is Azurite, the leader. She asks why he's here and calls him Relius. He tells her that he promised to take her job, and that's what he's here to do. He faces Azurite and says he trained for a whole year for this. The fact that Azurite exists means the hero must fight, so he will take him down. He will show them a blacksmith's resolve. Before we continue, please hit like, subscribe, and comment which manga you want me to recap in the next video. We switch to the present, where Relius is woken up by Lynn, who tells him to hurry because today is their coming-of-age ceremony. Takes him a while to realize what's happening. Then he shouts and asks what she's even doing right now. While giggling, she teases him that his face is bright red and says she thinks that's cute. He gets mad and asks if she isn't too old for this. He says he wouldn't keep making fun of people forever if he were her. In response, she tells him that he's also an adult but still sleeps in. He gets frustrated, thinking she always has a comeback for everything. He tells her he has to change, so she should get out, and she agrees. After a while, he finishes preparing himself. When he checks in the mirror, he thinks everything looks good now. He is 15 years old and lives in the kingdom of Valtos. After today's coming-of-age ceremony, he will officially be an adult. When he reaches downstairs, his father asks if he slept well, and his mother apologizes for Lynn always bothering him. These are his foster parents. Lynn retorts that she's just playing with him as a cute childhood friend. Her foster parents, along with Lynn, are his family, and this is the migrating bird inn. They took him in after his adventurer parents died. He asks his father what he needs him to do, but his father replies that there's no work left, and they never had many customers to begin with. He reminds him what day it is and tells him to get fired up and go. Relius says getting fired up won't change anything, but his father insists you never know. He could get a better class along with a sacred arm. This world's most important tools are sacred arms and classes. Sacred arms are bestowed upon humans by God at the coming-of-age ceremony. Classes are things like swordsman, knight, mage, hero, and so on. People are given a sacred arm and a class suited for it, and your class determines how you'll live your life. For those lucky enough to get strong classes and arms, they can gain wealth, become celebrities, and improve their quality of life. His mother tells him to hurry to the church and watch over Lynn. He happily agrees, but Lynn gets frustrated because it's supposed to be the other way around. They say their goodbyes and head to the church. When they reach a crowded area, Lynn says everyone looks like they're having fun, while Relius asks why unrelated people are celebrating harder than the new adults the ceremony is meant for. She tells him he's cold and notices something up ahead. She sprints forward and says the pendants are pretty. The merchant tells her she has a good eye because these are rare finds from the western capital. He calls them a couple and says Relius can buy one for his girlfriend for only 4,000. Lynn teases him, saying he should buy it because she's his girlfriend. Relius tells the merchant it's too expensive and she's not his girlfriend. Lynn is shocked that he isn't even a little flustered. He tells her they should continue, and she agrees, following him. She then holds his hand and says he should dance with her at the festival, but he reminds her that he can't dance and isn't going to. She teases him that he's an adult but still can't dance. He bumps into someone who tells him to watch where he's going, so he apologizes. They walk away, and he says he's impressed by their sacred arm. Lynn guesses they must be an adventurer, and he agrees. She asks what kind of sacred arm he wants and if it's something that will let him become an adventurer. He starts wondering the same thing. He owes her family for taking him in after his parents died, so he'll take anything as long as it doesn't cause trouble for them. If he were greedy, he'd ask for something he could use to give back to them. In the past, he wanted to become an adventurer like his parents, but now he says it'd be nice to get something that helps the inn. Lynn says that's what she wants too, though she doesn't even know how to fight. He recalls a flashback where she wouldn't strike him during training because she didn't want to hurt him. He agrees she's too nice in a weird way. Her ego inflates because she thinks that's a compliment, but he tells her it's not. She then asks what he'll do if he gets something like the legendary hero class. He says there's no way that could happen, but if it did, he could live comfortably for the rest of his life. They arrive at the church, and Lynn thinks it's full of people. Just then, someone gets the swordsman class and is happy to become an adventurer. Relius thinks the guy is lucky to get a sword and a matching class. The next person in line is told to pray to the holy stone, which is only active once a year at the ceremony. By praying to it, you receive a class and a sacred arm. Lynn says there are only 3 people left and asks who'll go first. Seeing his expression, she says that's the face he makes when he's expecting something. He tells her not to tease him. He said getting hero is impossible, but that doesn't mean he isn't expecting it at all. He wants to hit the jackpot. When he's given his sacred arm and class. Sacred arm. Creator's hammer. The nun is barely holding it together because he got the blacksmith class. Everyone knows it's the worst possible class. They call it the worthless class. In this world, where everyone is given magnificent weapons, his can only create ordinary ones. Sacred arms don't take damage, have unique skills, and can be summoned at will. Blacksmiths can only create weapons below sacred class. These weapons take damage, lack skills, and must be carried around, so there's no reason to use them in battle. A blacksmith can only create useless weapons, so the class is worthless. He got the worst possible class and sacred arm. Lynn tries to cheer him up, saying he can still live a normal life. She goes next, and he thinks survival isn't a problem, but it won't provide him with anything. He won't live a better life than now, even though he wanted to repay those who raised him. He guesses he has no choice but to live normally. When he opens his eyes, he hears murmurs. A woman says to hurry and report this to the bishop. Lynn got the sacred arm Excalibur with the hero class. They shout that she's the hero, she got the legendary class. The nun takes them into a room and tells them to wait. He asks Lynn if she's okay, and she flinches, trembling. She says she doesn't know what will happen now that she's the hero. Heroes have been discovered many times in the past, serving the country across battlefields with distinction. But for Lynn, who hates fighting, it's a heavy burden. He wishes he could switch places with her. Lynn says she needs to hold herself together. The bishop arrives, introduces himself, and asks if she's Lynn the hero. She agrees. He says he'll inform the country's leaders, but Relius cuts him off, asking if Lynn really has to fight as a hero since she doesn't like fighting. The bishop says they must follow the class given. He explains she will first train with knights, then travel the world defeating monsters. Lynn says she's a normal person, but the bishop insists the hero class is absolute, chosen by God's will. She is destined to save the world. Relius asks if she can at least have time to think. The bishop agrees to discuss it later. After they leave, Relius thinks they can't ask the church for help. She'll be forced to become a hero. He hears people mention Excalibur, the same weapon given to the commander of knights centuries ago. Lynn stops and says they should talk to their parents first. She stops him and asks if he can keep the fact that she doesn't want to be a hero from their parents. He asks if she's okay with doing that, and she explains that she doesn't want them to worry, since she can't refuse in the first place. She then puts on a smile and says she doesn't want to make people worry about her anymore. He thinks she has always been like that, prioritizing other people over herself and trying to encourage everyone. She apologizes for worrying him too. He says if that's what she really wants, he will do it. He asks himself if this was really why she was chosen as the hero. She tells him she'll go back first and runs off. He asks himself what he can do for her. Night falls and people are dancing around and celebrating. While in his house, he takes out the creator's hammer and asks what he's even supposed to do with this. He knocks at Lynn's door and she tells him to come in. She asks what's up, and he tells her that their mom said to come down because she made a treat for her. She asks if she really did that and wonders if it's something like meat or cake. He calls her, and when she asks what he needs, he proceeds to give her a knucklehead strike and says she doesn't have to force herself to smile. She then starts crying and tells him that she's scared. She asks what she's supposed to do as a hero and if she has to fight dragons like in the old legends. He runs up to her and hugs her, and she continues crying. They stay like that for a while, and when she calms down, she apologizes. He says she might be able to get away with anything, and she says that'd be nice if it were true. She thought she'd be living peacefully as an innkeeper's daughter for the rest of her life. He says he thought so too. Depending on his class, he might have occasionally worked as an adventurer to make some extra money. She says that's what she would have also been doing, treating his injuries and scolding him for getting hurt, but instead she became the hero. She starts releasing immense aura and says now she has to do training and go on journeys to save people in need. He quickly grabs her hand and says he won't let her fight on her own. He will work hard too. He thinks back to when he lost his parents and the world seemed dark. She was the one who comforted him, so this time he's going to help her. He says blacksmiths are worthless, but he'll change that reputation. He is going to become strong and take her role. Until then, she should hang in there. She smiles for Real and thanks him. He's glad that she finally smiled for real this time after all she went through. She apologizes again that he had to listen to all her problems and asks if they can dance now. He tenses up and says it's already late, so they should sleep early. She tells him she doesn't know when she'll be able to see him again, so he should dance with her today. He understands the weight behind her words and takes her hand. They dance, and when he hears her chuckle, he tells her not to laugh at his dancing. She says it's not that. She was just thinking about the times they used to practice like this in her room. He tells her that he remembers, then trips and falls. She says nothing's changed since then, and he says now she's definitely laughing at his dancing this time. But she tells him that's not true. She says she'll try her best even when it comes to fighting, so she expects him to be a great dancer the next time they meet. He agrees that he'll make an effort to be able to dance in public. He doesn't know what a blacksmith can do, but he will have to work hard so that he can support her. After a few days, she leaves town. He imagines she'll be joining the knights and learning about her class and how to use her sacred arm. Their parents accept the outcome, but it's only natural that they're still worried. His life continues as usual, working at the inn. When he does some research on blacksmiths, he learns there hasn't been one in several decades, and apparently, it's as rare as the hero class. He wonders if he'll really be able to help Lynn. Then he hears a crash somewhere. It's a girl saying she broke another plate again. When she tries to pick up the shards, he calls her Mare and tells her to use a broom because she might hurt herself. She apologizes. Mare is their new part-timer, a hybrid with a dog species, and right now she doesn't seem used to the work yet. He says he can take care of this, so she should go clean up the table, and she agrees. He picks up the shard and asks himself what he should do. What can he do with the blacksmith's sacred arm? But before he finishes, he sees the classic system pop-ups. A voice speaks in his head, saying the item can be destroyed with the creator's hammer, and asks if he would like to destroy it. He's shocked, wondering what's happening, because he's hearing a voice inside his mind. The voice repeats the question. It explains that if he destroys the plate, he will be able to craft a new one. He makes up his mind, summons the creator's hammer, and it materializes in his hand. He taps the shards, and they rise from the ground, shooting toward him before being absorbed into the hammer. He realizes the fragments were sucked inside. Mare returns, thanking him for cleaning up, and he tells her it's fine. He leaves the room, closes the door, and waits. The pop-up reappears, telling him that by absorbing the fragments, he can now create a new plate. Two options appear, asking if he'd like to craft it. He hesitates, then agrees. A magic circle forms on his hand, and a plate materializes. He stares at it, stunned. The broken plate came back. He asks, "What is this?" He notices strange notation and asks what level means. The system explains. Level represents his class proficiency, and the number below shows how much experience he needs to level up. Experience can be gained by defeating monsters and crafting items. Right now, he can only make plates, so he begins crafting them repeatedly. When the counter reaches 10, he levels up, unlocking a new ability. Suddenly, indicators appear all over his room saying, "Available." He then gets an idea. He rushes somewhere. On his way, he finds his father, then asks if the bed in room 201 is still broken, and he tells him it is. He then rushes off, and his father doesn't know what that was about. He hits the bed with all his might, breaking it in the process. He absorbs the bed with his hammer and recreates it with his skill. He levels up again, unlocking more crafts. He realizes he can make not just weapons, but everyday items too. And every time he levels up, he unlocks new crafts. For testing his strength, he throws something and then hits it midair. It splits in two. He's physically stronger now. He thinks, "I didn't know how I'd help Lynn as a blacksmith, but if I keep leveling up, I can gain the power to save her." Pumped up, he vows, "Lynn, wait for me." It is now July in the Kingdom of Valtos, 2 months since Lynn left. Mare tells Relius he's going to get left behind. Right now, they're running around town together as part of their training. Mare is an adventurer, so she makes a great training partner. Relius has spent the last 2 months honing his skills and learning how to use the hammer's powers. While resting, Mare says it's hot, so Relius takes out some water from his inventory, gives it to her, and she thanks him. When she drinks his liquid, she says his water is always so cold and delicious. She tells him she can't believe his sacred arm came with an item box and wishes she had one too. Item box is the storage skill that can store anything, but his version works differently. It only manages items he's destroyed and recreated before. That includes this water. He absorbed it with the hammer, so now he can craft it. He discovered this skill in the past 2 months. Sacred arms are encoded with skills, but you need special appraisal tools from magicians to see them. Only royalty can get those, so most people have to discover their skills on their own. She tells him that's amazing, and he thinks she praises him about everything, which makes him happy. Just then, he levels up. Mare remembers he mentioned something about his level before and asks what number he's at. He says 15. He's been smithing every day, but he doesn't know if his progress is fast or slow. Apparently, no one can see their own class level.
Nice.
He checks his range of items and sees it has expanded. Something catches his eye and makes his blood pump. Mare asks what's wrong, but he just takes his hammer and strikes the ground. A magic circle forms, and she asks what he's making. Something floats up from the circle. He did it. He made his first sword. She asks if he can make swords now, and he's excited that he finally can. His previous attempts failed, but this time he crafted his first weapon. Though he thinks it came pretty late, considering making weapons is a blacksmith's main task. Mare looks at the sword and says it's too scruffy for something he crafted. He's surprised too. When he inspects it closely, a new pop-up appears. The system informs him that a new ability has been unlocked. Rank identification. There are 7 ranks. F is the worst, followed by E, D, C, B, A, and the best rank, S. He realizes the other things he made must have ranks too. Mare just stares at him, wondering what he's talking about. He activates his magic circle to check the ranks of his items. He made an A-rank bed, an F-rank chair, an A-rank fork, and a C-rank spoon. The first plate he crafted turned out to be S-rank. He guesses that if he levels up, he can make higher-ranked items. That means if he wants to make a higher-ranked sword, he has to increase his level more. Mare asks what's happening because he's been grinning for a while. He tells her it's nothing and says they should get back to work. She agrees. He thinks he finally knows what he has to do now. They arrive home after some time, and when they enter, his parents look like they just got loan shark, but they are too broke to pay back. Mare asks what happened because they look troubled. They explain that they got a complaint about the bed in room 201, saying it's too hard, so they have to replace it. But they aren't exactly Elon Musk's level of rich, so they were struggling with what to do. Relius realizes it's a bed, so he tells them he can make one. His parents are shocked. His father asks what he means, and Mare asks if he hadn't told them yet. She explains that Relius is a blacksmith, so he can create beds. His mother is surprised because she thought blacksmiths could only create weapons. Relius tells her he can make everyday items, including beds, and he's done it before. His father says blacksmithing is a useful skill. He asks if it'll take 2 or 3 days, but Relius says he can do it right now. His parents are stunned. His mother asks what he means, so he explains that if there's something he wants to make, he can do it instantly. His father still doesn't believe him, so Relius decides it's faster to show them. They arrive in the room. His father asks if he can really do it instantly, and Relius tells him to watch. He takes a deep breath, then hits the bed with all his might, breaking it. His father is shocked and asks if he's going through a rebellious phase because he broke their bed. His mother tells him he can talk to them if he's unhappy. Relius tells them to calm down. He absorbs the bed into his hammer without effort. His father asks if the bed just got sucked into the hammer. Relius activates his magic circle, and a completely new bed appears out of thin air. His mother is stunned and asks what he just did. He tells her he used his blacksmithing powers and made another bed. She's amazed at how quickly he did it. She checks the bed and says it's really soft. It's incredible. Relius remembers he can see ranks, so he uses his ability. The bed turns out to be S rank. He's thrilled he made the highest rank. His father says he was a great help because now they don't need to worry about paying for new beds. His mother thanks him too. They didn't know blacksmiths could be as capable as heroes, so they think that's amazing. Relius tells them he'll remake all the furniture in the inn when he has time, and his father is happy to hear that. His mother says it's like magic. She tells him he's got an incredible class, but he asks if that's really true. She insists it is. He still hasn't found any combat-oriented skills, so he doesn't know if he'll be able to help Lynn, but he thinks it's not a bad class because it helps the inn a lot. The scene then switches to somewhere raining heavily. A woman walks toward a giant castle's exit. As she passes, maids bow to show respect. She calls one maid and tells her to fetch an umbrella. Someone behind her calls her Fyra and asks where she's going. She replies that she can't sleep, so she's going for a walk. He tells her she's been saying that for several days, but before he finishes, she walks out and shuts the door. He looks extremely worried and says the situation is troublesome. He tells himself he must find it. In the name of the House of Duke Gleadrad, he will find a bed that ensures her a good night's sleep. He asks where he can find a skilled craftsman who can do that. The scene shifts ahead to a room filled with nobles chatting. Suddenly, they spot Lord Krya of the Gleadrad family, which is unusual because he never attends these kinds of events. One noble whispers that they should ask him for a dance. Krya, feeling out of place, asks a waiter for a drink, thinking to himself that these noble parties are always so dull. A man recognizes him and comes over to welcome him to the social event. He mentions that one of the heroes, Lady Lynn, is also in attendance and asks if they've spoken yet. When Krya asks why he said one of the heroes, the man explains that multiple heroes were discovered this year. The man then asks if Krya's father is attending, but Krya explains he isn't feeling well, so he came in his father's place. The man asks about his sister, Fyra, and Krya's expression suddenly turns grim. Ignoring the tension, the man continues, saying he heard Fyra obtained a powerful sacred arm. He notes that she is still a maiden and suggests she needs a dependable partner, proposing himself for the role due to his status and fame. Krya leaves the man blabbering and walks away, muttering to himself that it's far too early for his sister to worry about that. He then spots Lynn being led by her maid. As they pass, he observes her with a persistent, careful gaze, thinking that at her age, it must be difficult to deal with all these nobles. On his way out, a knight asks where he's going. Krya explains he can't stand the stuffy atmosphere and needs some fresh air. The knight then informs him of an update regarding the betting matter. Krya gets excited, thinking they found what they were looking for, but the knight clarifies. They haven't found the item, but they found an inn receiving excellent reviews for its furniture. Apparently, one night's rest there takes away all your fatigue. Intrigued, Krya asks for the name. The knight replies, "It's called the Migrating Bird Inn." We switch to the inn, where a massive line has formed at the entrance. Mare is struggling to keep up with the overwhelming orders and tells the crowd to wait a moment. Relius observes the chaos, noting that the place was dead just a couple of weeks ago, but now business is booming. A customer leaves their room, remarking how light their body feels. They note that the beds are as good as luxury ones and even the chairs are relaxing. Lirius's mother tells him this is all because people love the furniture he made. By remaking the inn's furniture into high-quality pieces, his work has brought in a flood of customers, so he can't complain about that. Eventually, things slow down. A tired Relius is interrupted by Lynn, who tells him that his father wants to see him in the admin office. She mentions he had a very stern look on his face, leaving Relius wondering what is wrong. He asks Mare if she did anything, but she says she didn't. She suddenly turns grim, worried that her very existence might be harming the world. Relius tells her to calm down, admitting he was just kidding. They head to the office to find out what's happening. When Relius opens the door, his father is sitting expressionless at his desk. He suddenly glares at them, releasing an immense, intimidating aura. Relius realizes this must be serious. He asks what happened, but instead of a straight answer, his father grins. He announces that a noble is coming to stay at their inn. Relius is shocked, and his father admits he might have put a little too much force into the announcement. Mare asks why a noble would come here. His father explains that thanks to Relius's craftsmanship, their reputation reached the nobility, specifically, the fourth son of the Gleadrad family. Mare recognizes the name immediately. The Gleadrads are a powerful ducal family from a major city 2 days away, considered top-class nobility. Relius wonders why someone like that would choose their specific inn. His father puts Relius in charge of the visit, with Mare providing support. He promises to pay them well and asks if he can rely on them. Relius agrees and asks Mare if she's in. She says she understands, but her expression is hesitant. As they are dismissed, Relius notices that Mare looks visibly stressed. Relius doesn't know exactly what's bothering her, but after some time passes and she is busy cleaning, he calls her over. He tells her they'll be closing for the day, so she should make sure the dining area is locked up, and she agrees. He calls her name again and asks if she's nervous about the nobleman's arrival, and he hit the nail right on the head. He tells her that her face and her tail give away all her emotions, so she can't hide anything from him. She looks at him seriously and admits she's thinking of turning down the job, which takes him by surprise. He tries to assure her that she'll be fine, but she tells him that she truly likes everyone at the inn and fears she will cause trouble if she offends a nobleman. She starts panicking, even worrying that she'd be beheaded. In response, he tells her that while a hero might be able to do a perfect job, he isn't a hero, yet he still believes she can handle it. She tries to object, but he asks if she remembers her first day at the inn. Back then, she was breaking plates and getting orders wrong, but now she's doing great. He tells her she is constantly improving, and when she asks if that's really true, he confirms it. He reminds her that his father gave her this job because he trusts her, and besides, he will be right by her side to help. He knows that it works just like his blacksmith class. Everyone gains experience, levels up, and moves forward. He tells her she needs to have confidence in herself, and she finally realizes that she really can do this. As they finish closing up, she tells him his advice truly helped her.
Everything.
He modestly replies that anyone would have said the same, but she tells him she's happy either way because he's a really good guy. She vows to work hard and heads out. As he goes back inside, he thinks to himself that since she found her courage, he needs to do his part too. He enters the room where Krya will be staying and decides that for a nobleman, a rank furniture won't be enough. He aims for S rank instead and starts upgrading everything. His father comes to check on him and asks if he's done checking room 201. With a thumbs up, Relius tells him that it's all good to go. Today is the day their inn will be welcoming a member of the nobility. Since that night, he's remade all the furniture many times, and everything is now S rank. It's the first time they are hosting a noble, so his dad might be the most nervous, and his mother is trying to get him to pull himself together. He changes his mind and says the one who is actually the most nervous might be Mare, and he keeps telling her to relax. He says not to worry because if anything happens, he'll take care of it, and she's happy to hear that. They hear a carriage rattling in the distance, and his father says, "He's here." The carriage stops in front of the inn, and the noble steps out. He starts coming towards the entrance, and Relius thinks he's just as imposing as he thought he'd be. The noble looks at them and then he grins. He introduces himself as Krya and thanks them for coming outside to greet him. Relius also introduces himself and welcomes him to the inn. Krya gets up close to him and says he can relax. He may be from the Gleadrad family, but he's only the fourth son. He doesn't have much standing, and even his family says he should marry into another family or become a knight. He says he'll be in their care. Relius thinks he's not as regal as he expected, but he tells himself not to let his guard down and to focus. He says he looks forward to having him. The fate of the inn is at stake. After some time passes and they are having drinks, Krya laughs when he hears Relius is a blacksmith while a little drunk. Krya says that's amazing because he got a rare one, and Relius thinks there's something wrong with this guy. Krya asks if he's the one who made the furniture, saying he heard that blacksmiths could only create weapons. He says it's brilliant that Relius is so young but can still make such wonderful things. Relius was wary because he's a noble, but he realizes Krya is a good person. Krya says he would have never thought this was where Lynn the hero grew up, and Relius asks if he knows her. He says he's only seen her around, but she seemed to be doing well as a hero. He tells Relius that nobles are sensitive to money and power, so a lot of them flock to her to try and make connections. From what he could see from afar, she made sure she presented herself in a way that doesn't antagonize them. Relius asks if that means she's doing well, and Krya responds that she's even doing better than him. Relius smiles, glad that she's working hard. Krya thinks the only things he's doing are playing around and making various connections so he won't be in trouble when he gets kicked out of the house. He says he hopes they can get along in the future and asks Relius to hire him when he gets kicked out. Relius jokes that he'll be a strict teacher, and Krya responds that he should go easy on him. Krya says it's about time to go to sleep and tells his knights they are free for the rest of the night. He turns to Relius and tells him to show him to his room. His expression suddenly changes, and he says he's been waiting all day for this. The knight behind him tells Relius to be cautious from now on. He explains that, perhaps because of their genetics, Crya's family has been fussy about sleep for generations. He doesn't know if it's true, but there are rumors that Crya's brother executed a craftsman because he was not satisfied with the bedding. It's even said they've waged war over a bed in the past. Relius is surprised it escalated to the point of war. He asks if the knight is kidding but gets no response. He's confident in his furniture, but he asks himself if the bed will be enough to satisfy a nobleman. He shows him inside and says, "This is the room you'll be staying in tonight." Crya looks around and asks if he made the furniture in here too, and Relius agrees. Crya looks at one of the chairs and says it's plain in design, but there's something different about it. Relius wonders if it's because of the rank and is surprised Crya can tell the difference. Suddenly, Crya shouts that he's going to sleep, which startles Relius. He takes off his outer clothes and jumps on the bed. Relius and the others wait anxiously to see what happens. They stare for a while until Crya gets up and says he's not into being watched while he sleeps. They apologize and leave the room. One of the knights tells Relius it must have been a hard day for him, and Relius responds that he hopes they also enjoy their stay. The knight says he's sure it will turn out fine. He mentions he's thirsty and asks if they can order room service later. Relius says they can and tells Mare to do it. He thinks Mare was nervous before, but now she's doing her job just fine and might not need his help anymore. After taking their orders, she says she'll bring them later. Then she suddenly perks up her ears. He asks what's happening, and she explains the room is quiet, he might already be asleep. The knight says that's impossible because it hasn't even been 5 minutes. They peek inside and see him asleep. The knight is taken aback, wondering how he could fall asleep so quickly. Relius asks if it's really that surprising, and the knight says it is. Crya is the type who can't sleep on an unfamiliar pillow. He recalls that on a long expedition, Crya couldn't sleep for several days and stayed awake in a horrible state. Since then, they always carry his personal pillow. Relius smiles at the news. He wasn't expecting that since Crya seemed like someone who wouldn't worry about such things. The knight pats him on the back, saying it's rare to find a craftsman who could create such an amazing bed, and that blacksmiths sure are something special. Relius finally takes a breath of air because he was so anxious, but it seems Crya is satisfied. His blacksmith powers really can create high-quality items. Mare gets close to him and tells him all his hard work has paid off. Relius agrees and says that goes for both of them. The knights say they would also like to get some sleep and ask him to escort them to their rooms. Relius feels confident now, but he tells himself this is only the beginning. He has to catch up to the hero, Lynn, and that means he has to keep going. The night goes by, and Crya is still sleeping soundly. Relius goes to knock on his door to wake him up, informing him that it is his scheduled wake-up time. It stays silent for a second, then he hears the sound of someone sprinting. Crya quickly opens the door and shouts, asking what kind of bed that is. It was so comfortable that he actually fell back to sleep twice. Relius is taken aback but says he is glad he liked it. Crya admits he is the type of person who usually can't sleep on a different pillow, but the bed conquered him instantly. He even calls it the devil's bed. When Crya asks if his subordinates are awake, Relius tells him they are still sleeping. Surprised, Crya asks him to wake them up. Once they are up, one knight says he's never slept in such a wonderful bed and agrees that it really does sweep all your fatigue away. The other knight adds that he wishes he could bring the bed home with him. Relius knows the beds in the other rooms were of a lower rank, but he is glad they liked them. Still, he tells himself he needs to keep working or he won't improve as a blacksmith. Crya apologizes for sleeping in, but Relius tells him not to worry, as the inn provides a wake-up service. He looks at Mare and jokes that most guests probably hope to be woken up by her, and she stiffens up when she hears they're talking about her. He notes she is quite cute, which makes her become nervous, and she internally begs Relius to save her. He thinks that he may not be welcome there, but Relius quickly explains she is just nervous and tells him they are proud to have her. He smiles and agrees that it is a nice inn. After breakfast, he mentions again how incredible the bed was. Relius tries to be humble, saying he has a long way to go, but he tells him not to be. Since his family once started a war over a bed, they are experts on being picky about sleep. Relius realizes the war story was actually true. Crya says that while he isn't anyone important in his family, he still approves of Relius and tells him he should be proud. Relius smiles, knowing part of it might be flattery, but he is still happy to be praised. He is reminded of his parents, who were adventurers that used their power to defeat monsters and make people smile. He always wanted to be like them. Even though he couldn't become an adventurer, he thinks that if he can make people happy this way, he's thankful for being made a blacksmith. Suddenly, Krya's expression turns serious. He says they should talk business, and Relius feels his aura change. Krya mentions he has a younger sister around Relius's age whom he calls adorable. By the look on his face, Relius can tell he loves her a lot. He admits she is a bit willful but cuts to the chase. Because of Relius's skill as a blacksmith, he wants him to help his sister, Freya. Relius is completely surprised by the request. The scene switches to the training grounds in the royal capital of the Kingdom of Valtos. Trainees greet Lynn as she arrives, and she greets them back. They tell her that Kairi is waiting for her inside. As she passes others, they recognize her as the hero. One trainee suggests the other should watch her to learn something. Lynn still doesn't like being the center of attention. It has been 3 months since she left Carl's, and in that time, she has learned to fight and joined battles against monsters. She is still inexperienced, so she mostly observes from the sidelines. She wonders if she will be able to go back to her family someday, but for now, she knows she needs to work hard. She reaches Kairi, also known as the Transparent Blade, who is one of the 7 knights with an alias and Lynn's sword instructor. When training begins, Lynn sprints forward with force, but she simply observes. Just as Lynn's blade is inches away, she vanishes. Lynn tries to strike again, but she skillfully dodges. When Kairi counters, Lynn manages to parry the attack. The other trainees notice that while Lynn used to swing like an amateur, she is now matching Kairi, wondering if that is the power of a hero. As the session ends, Lynn smiles and thanks her. Kairi tells her that morning training is over but reminds her she has classes in the afternoon. Lynn flinches, clearly not enjoying the lessons. Kairi asks if she really dislikes them that much, but Lynn doesn't respond. Even though she isn't a noble, they are teaching her confusing etiquette because she will have to join the nobility eventually. Kairi tells her that as a hero, she has to bear with it, and Lynn hesitantly agrees. Seeing her expression, Kairi mentions that a letter from the migrating bird inn arrived for her. Lynn is extremely surprised. Kairi tells her she'll bring lunch to her room later so Lynn can have time to read it. In her room, Lynn opens the letters from her mom, her dad, and Relius. She reads that the inn got very busy right after she left and that the new part-timer has gotten used to the job. Lynn feels a little sad, thinking the inn is doing fine without her. However, Relius's letter continues, saying that if she comes back, he will finally be able to take it easy again, and that he is always waiting for her. Lynn laughs, saying that sounds just like him. Someone knocks to bring her meal, and she tells them to come in. As she keeps reading, she finds out the new worker is named Mare, and that she is an adventurer who has been training with Relius. Lynn thinks it's good that he's working to get stronger, but then she notices a she pronoun used for Mare. Lynn's expression shifts instantly. She is shocked to find out Mare is a woman and starts to panic. Knowing Relius opens up to people easily, she worries about what she'll do if he introduces Mare as his girlfriend next time they meet. She becomes gloomy, praying that won't happen. The letter continues, with Relius explaining that blacksmiths can make more than he thought. He says he hasn't forgotten his promise to work hard for her. Lynn smiles and starts to tear up, but then she sees there is more. Relius mentions that a nobleman from the Gleadrad family came to the inn today. He was a nice guy, so everything went well. Lynn realizes the Gleadrads are a powerful ducal family. He informs her that the noble requested his skills to help his sister, so he will be traveling to Gleadrad and will write again when he returns. Lynn is shocked that Relius was requested by a ducal family and wonders what on earth is going on. The scene switches back to the inn, where Krya asks Relius if he is done preparing. Relius confirms that he is. It is finally time for them to head to Gleadrad. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Comment subs up, and I'll heart it and comment under you because I'll know you finished the video. Thanks for watching and check out this video on screen. I'll see you there.